You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into the show, everybody. Locked On Sports Philadelphia and the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. My name's Mark Farzetta. We are running this back. That's what's happening right now. We are running it back. So I already did a show a little bit earlier in the night, and audio was terrible. Internet connection was terrible. I don't know why that was the case, but it was the case. So I pushed some buttons, ran back into the studio, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? I don't want to give that audio to the listeners there with the podcast and all that stuff. So I want to give them a good audio. So I was just going to retape the show over again, just the audio version of it. And I thought, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Just do the whole show. Run it back, baby. So here we are running it back after the Phillies handle their business against the Miami Marlins to the tune of a 5-2 victory. And the Phillies win their 5th game in a row. Their first 5-game winning streak since May. Yeah, that's right. Since May. It has been a long, long time since the Phillies were able to get over the hump of just a 4-game winning streak and jump it to 5. And it has also been more than a minute since the Phillies were the best team in baseball. And with the Dodgers being idle tonight and the Phillies having the tiebreaker, the Phillies are once again atop MLB standings. Also, the Braves took it on the chin tonight as well. That's just a shame when you think about it. Isn't that a shame? They lose to the Colorado Rockies 3-1. So the way things look right now in the standings, though, that what I just showed you there video-wise, that was from earlier in the evening. With the Braves losing, it's a little bit of a different tune now. They're trailing the Phillies by a little bit more than that now in the standings. So we will get that for you as the show goes on today. Here it is, 8 games back. The Mets and the Braves, 8 games behind the Phillies in total right now throughout Major League Baseball. Not too shabby, but welcome in. This is Locked On Sports Philadelphia on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Thank you for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. Free wherever you're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This particular episode brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB. That's prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use all lowercase Locked On MLB to win $50 instantly when you play just $5 on Prize Picks. Let's start it off as we do each and every show with 3 big things. Number 3 for me, counting them up, the bullpen. The bullpen has been spectacular for your Philadelphia Phillies as of late. Absolutely spectacular. And tonight with Ranger Suarez on the hill, and Ranger Suarez will get to him, not exactly having his best velocity, we'll call it, but his accuracy was pretty dead on tonight. Certainly not his best velo, but him not having his entire arsenal, Ranger Suarez, you would need the bullpen to come up and absolutely do their thing, and that's exactly what they did tonight. They took over in the 6th inning of the ball game tonight after Ranger Suarez pitched just 82 pitches tonight, through 82 pitches. You had the bullpen come up with Jose Ruiz. He dominated in his appearance tonight, using just 10 pitches to mow through his inning, his 6th inning of work. Then you have Matt Lazar goes out there. He gets you an inning of work, 19 pitches in his inning tonight. Max Lazar, excuse me. Then after that, he gives way to Orion Kerkering, who pitches 1 inning, allows 1 run. It was unearned. Struck out 2 using 22 pitches. And Matt Strahm, who came in to close the door for his 3rd save of the season and 2nd in the last 3 games. Not too bad for Matt Strahm in that role as well. But the Phillies bullpen, yet again, came in. And they were allowed to do this, able to do this, for 4 innings of work, thanks in large part to what we highlighted yesterday, Christopher Sanchez, after the bullpen got you 25 outs. Christopher Sanchez gave you 7 innings yesterday, so the bullpen refreshed for tonight's ball game. So they get a tip of the cap tonight. Absolutely. Number 2 on this list, I'm going to give it to Ranger Suarez. 5 innings. I expected Ranger Suarez to go out there. If you told me Ranger Suarez would go out there tonight and give you 5 scoreless, I would have thought he's at 95 pitches. That he had some inning where he labored greatly and struggled greatly, and he was only able to get to 5 innings, should have been 6, maybe even 7, but he had one really bad inning where he threw a lot of pitches, maybe allowed a couple runs, and they got to him. It didn't happen tonight. And I was watching Ranger Suarez in that first inning, and the velo wasn't there, as I mentioned. The velocity was down. He's throwing his fastball. He's popping the mid at 88, maybe 89 miles per hour. I think maybe in that first inning he had his hardest pitch. His fastest pitch was 90 miles per hour, and yes, it was a fastball. But he threw 13 pitches in the bottom of that first inning, and he looked like he had thrown 100 already. He was up there on the hill. He's exhaling big time, deep breaths, moving his arm around. Like, I thought, is he okay? Is this a relapse? Are we having an issue here? What's going on? Tom McCarthy, during the broadcast, even highlighted the fact that Ranger Suarez was out there and his velo's down. Is the radar gun okay? What's going on with the radar gun? You used to seeing him at 92, 93 miles per hour with the four-seam fastball, and he's topping out at 90? For a guy that's coming off a back injury, that's a little concerning. For a guy that's not only coming off that back injury, has already logged 2 previous starts, and this third start, because there was no rehab start, this, according to Rob Thompson, was supposed to be the start where there was no limitations to Ranger Suarez, where he wasn't on any type of pitch count. He was just going to be able to go out there and unleash the fury. But unfortunately, the fury unleashing was only at 90 miles per hour. The most I saw him pop the mitt was 91 miles per hour. That was the most I saw him be able to do anything with some velocity that was anything close to what we're seeing at with great regularity from Ranger Suarez. Now, that was the only complaint I really had tonight about Ranger Suarez. Everything else was crossing the T's, dotting the I's. And that's what Ranger Suarez was bringing to the game tonight. On his way, by the way, to his 12th win of the season. In total, Ranger Suarez gave you 5 innings, 0 runs, 3 hits, 2 walks, struck out 4, and again, 82 pitches, and he gets his ERA down to 2.90 overall in the season. Happy to see that. Happy to see the effort from the bullpen. Happy to see the effort from Ranger Suarez. Now, number 1, I got to split it. I got to go 2 ways because I got to tip my cap to both these guys because they deserve it greatly. Bryson Stott and Kody Clemens. Both of them had 2 RBIs. They had 4 RBIs. Both of them were in on all the runs the Phillies had tonight, whether it was them driving in the runs or them scoring on a wild pitch like Kody Clemens did later in the ballgame. But you needed offense, obviously. And in that first inning, the Phillies were trying to get something going. Kyle Schwarber, unfortunately, went down looking at a slurve, from Oller. He goes out there and he's throwing that slurve pitch all over the place there in the first inning, getting guys to strike out at it or getting guys to gawk at it like Kyle Schwarber did in the first inning, sat him down looking at the slurve. Trea Turner then works a walk. Beneficial call from Rackley behind the plate for Trea Turner on a couple of those pitches. He works the walk. Bryce Harper, who did start in the game tonight, he works the walk. First and second, 1 out. Nick Castellanos goes down, swinging at the slurve, low and away. He was fooled on it big time. So you got 2 outs. You have a runner in scoring position. You have first and second, 2 outs. Bryson Stott steps up to the plate. He sees a couple of pitches. Then he, too, gets a slurve. In a close spot to where Nick Castellanos saw it from the other side of the plate. And Bryson Stott stays down with it. And, like, the best way to describe this swing, if you didn't see it, he looked like he was trying to get a fly off the top of his shoelaces. He swung down on it, like down towards his body. He hacked away at it. And inside outed that slurve into left field for a bloop RBI single. And just like that, bing, bang, boom, the Phillies are up 1-0. I'll take it. I'll take it every time when you look at Bryson Stott and what he was able to do in that particular bat. Then later in the ball game, he added to the Phillies score again. Got them their first inning, got them their first run of the game, then also got them their second run of the game. And this one coming by way of his 11th home run of the season. Ranger Suarez already shut down at this point. You know he's not coming out for the 6th inning. Jose Ruiz is already warming up. Bryson Stott goes out there and gets a 2-1 fastball up in the zone. And it always makes me think of the movie League of Their Own. Can't lay off the high ones. Bryson Stott gets a fastball high in the zone, top of the zone, if you will, and cranks it deep down the right field line, upper deck in Miami, gives the Phillies a 2-0 lead, puts it 406 feet into the upper deck. Crushed that fastball. Top of the zone, didn't want to lay off it, should not have laid off it, didn't lay off it. Phillies are up 2-0. Then after that, it was the Kody Clemens show, ladies and gentlemen. This really reminds me, just to tell you what he did. Kody Clemens goes out there, gets you a 2-run double, puts you in a great position there. It's a 4-0 game at this point. Then later comes around to score, makes it a 5-0 game on the wild pitch. That's great. That's wonderful. That's bottom line stuff. But here's what's so great about Kody Clemens doing what he has done for this Phillies team over the last now 3 games. With his 11-pitch at-bat that he had in a pinch hit situation in the 7th inning in Game 1 against the Toronto Blue Jays up there in Toronto, and then gets the home run to put the Phillies in front for good yesterday, and then comes up with some more insurance runs for the Phils, and it turns out, oh, baby, they would need them, as the Marlins would later get 2 runs in the game. But Kody Clemens, this is what's so great about it. When the Phillies were really getting things done, the last time the Phillies were able to string 5 games in a row to win, 5 wins in a row, the last time they were able to do that, in May. Here's what's so incredible about it. That's when this Phillies team was playing their best baseball. When the guys at the bottom of the order, and we had highlighted this time and time again for the Phillies earlier in the season, it's the guys at the bottom of the order that are making the biggest difference. It's the guys at the top of the order, the Bryce Harpers, the Kyle Schwarbers, whoever, the Nick Castellanos, whatever. If those guys, the bigger money players, if they're going out there and doing their job, then you're off to a nice start. But the fact that at the time, the Kody Clemens, the Christian Pache, people forget he won a game against the Marlins. Garrett Stubbs, once in a blue moon earlier in the season. Those guys actually stepping up to the plate and getting it done. Johan Rojas figuring it out. Brandon Marsh off to a hot start. Those guys actually going up. Some of the daycare kids, those guys producing in clutch moments. Not always, not consistently, but somebody, even Edmundo Sosa in the time that Trea Turner was down. Those guys stepping up at the bottom of the order were the reason you were off to the historic start. The other guys, the big money guys, doing what they're supposed to do, you're off to a good start. Those guys are great. Those guys are doing a great job. They're carrying the team. But at times when those guys would have slumps or those guys would have bad nights, to see an Edmundo Sosa, to see a Kody Clemens, to see a Christian Pache go up there and have a decent night, that made the world a difference. That made you go from really good start to the season to a historic start to the season. And now you're in a situation where you've logged 5 wins in a row again for the first time since May. It was back-to-back sweeps. It was actually a 6-game winning streak. You swept the Nationals. I think it was a sweep. I don't think it was a 4-game series. You swept the Nationals, and then you swept the Texas Rangers. Back-to-back sweeps, baby. That was also a time where the Phillies weren't losing series. They just kept on winning or tying series as the season went on. That's tough to say. But that's what Kody Clemens really reminded me of tonight, and that's what he's reminded me of over the last 3 games. That this team was really cooking when it wasn't just the big-name players making that money. It was the guys at the bottom of the order that were making sure that they were contributing. And that's what it reminded me of tonight with Kody Clemens, and I absolutely love to see that. So, bullpen, tip of the cap to them. Absolutely a tip of the cap there with the 12th win of the season for Ranger Suarez. And then I got a split C's at the top of 3 big things. So, 4 big things, I guess. I got to go with Bryson Stott leading the way for the Phillies, making sure they got a first run in that inning, in the first inning, and then also getting his home run, and then Kody Clemens driving in a couple of runs for himself and also touching home on his own right on that wild pitch. That's what I stick with for the Phillies tonight for 3 big things. When we come back, Bryce Harper, Alec Bohm, and are we going to be concerned about Ranger? Talk about that when we return. Your Locked On Sports Philadelphia, your Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube show here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia's YouTube channel, Locked On Phillies Postcast. Let me tell you about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest, most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike other apps on Prize Picks, you just got to pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. With Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get in on the action on sports in the most states, including California and Texas and Georgia. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy so that your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks, your picks are still alive. Prize Picks puts their member first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When I make my picks, when picks hit, I can get money in as quick as 15 minutes. Prize Picks invented the flex play as well, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You could double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even have to win to receive your 50 bonus bucks. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game with Prize Picks. Prize Picks. And also, thank you again for making Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Phillies Postcast your first listen every day. For a second listen, enjoy Locked On MLB podcast with host Paul Sully Sullivan. He's here daily to provide national expertise, that is, with trademark humor to help you get ready for the MLB postseason. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day on Locked On MLB, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As I mentioned earlier, you had that Bryce Harper fella in the lineup tonight. I was a little surprised to see him in there. I know that he said he was fine after the game, after he got hit by the pitch and then left the game early in Game 2 against the Blue Jays up there north of the border. But I also know that he's been dealing with an elbow injury. We all know that he's been dealing with a wrist injury. Rob Thompson, after the final game in Toronto, said simply that it was precautionary, or more like he agreed with Todd Zielecki's question as to whether or not it's precautionary. He's like, oh yeah, okay. Like, I'll go with that. I don't think he said the words precautionary, but he did say if Bryce Harper had to keep going, he could have kept going. Like if it was a playoff game or pennant race, something like that. He could have kept going. I'd love to see him get a break. Phillies are playing some great baseball right now. Phillies are playing a team in the Marlins who are a bad baseball team. And I would love to see Bryce Harper be able to rest against a bad baseball team before taking on a pretty good baseball team in the New York Metropolitans, who the Phillies have 7 games against coming up in the not too distant future this month of September. I would love for Bryce Harper to be healthy during that time. He was in the game tonight. He was 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. He looks like a guy who needs a break. And that's mostly because of injury. But even if he was 100% healthy, I know he had a brief 10-day IL stint a while back at the end of June into July, I believe it was. You're going to need Bryce Harper down the stretch. Alec Boehm, I'd love to see back in the not-too-distant future. He's at least getting time away from playing. A lot of athletes I've talked to, I always assumed, like a lot of times when I was younger growing up, I always assumed that an IL stint meant, okay, well, at least you come back fresh. Not always the case, because it also means that you're busting your butt to make sure that you make it out there. Trea Turner, when he injured his hamstring earlier in the season, he said he felt bad for the training staff because he was going to be working them to death to make sure that he came back at 100%. So the IL stint isn't necessarily a vacation. That's why I thought at the worst case scenario, Rob Thompson would at least put Bryce Harper in a similar realm, I guess, similar situation to Alec Boehm, which is more of a day-to-day type of thing as opposed to a legit IL stint. So as of right now, if a guy like Kody Clemens hits for you, gives him a break. Guy like Edmundo Sosa steps up, hits for you, plays good defense. Kody Clemens moves over to first base like he did after Harper left the game 2 against the Blue Jays there. Then at least your bases will be covered literally and figuratively. But it's certainly a concern going forward when you think about the injury bug and this Philadelphia Phillies lineup. Nick Castellanos also 0 for 3 with a walk tonight as well. And again, the guys that were the heavy hitters for you were Bryson, Stott, and Kody Clemens. Kyle Schwarber, though, tonight, no home run, so no Schwarberian home run for Kyle Schwarber, but he did get you a double. And there was one point in the game I was a little nervous about the way the direction this Phillies this game was going to go. So Stott got you the first inning run. Good. Way to start it out. Then in the second inning, you go down 1-2-3. Third inning, Kyle Schwarber leads off with a double. Then Trea Turner flies out to center field. Schwarber tags and goes to third, taking third base on Christian Pache's throw to third. Bryce Harper grounds out to third. Nick Castellanos lines out to third on a 3-1 fastball. Harper grounded out to first. Castellanos lined out to third. All right. Couldn't get anything done there. 9-pitch inning despite the leadoff double from Kyle Schwarber. Okay. Then in the third inning, you have Ranger Suarez able to pitch himself out of a first and second 2-out jam, getting actually 2 strikeouts to help him get out of that. And then was strikeout earlier in the inning and then strikeout to seal the deal against Berger. Got him on a curveball to sit him down and actually got his fastball up to 91 miles per hour. That's the fastest I saw him pop the mid at tonight, according to the ESPN game log. The game radar gun was a little different than the ESPN play-by-play radar gun. Fourth inning, Stott goes out there, strikes out on the slurve. JT Realmuto gets a base hit. Brandon Marsh walks to first and second with 1 out. Kody Clemens goes up there. He works a walk. You got the bases loaded now with 1 out. Johan Rojas steps up to the plate, grounds into the 4-6-3 double play. Out of the inning. Phillies went down 1-2-3 in the next inning, and I thought this is where the Phillies are going to get got. This is where the Phillies are going to get got. And then Bryson Stott came up in the 6th, got to the home run, and Kody Clemens then was responsible for 3 runs, essentially. He drove into, and he scored the final one on a wild pitch. There was a moment where I was a little concerned that they were going to play down to this opponent. They did not. They won by 3 runs. They were in control for the most of it. They allowed a run in the 7th there on Sanchez RBI single, and then Lopez got the Berger scored. Berger scored on the throwing error by Kody Clemens there, unfortunately, at third base. Phillies still win 5-2. Phillies still have the best record in baseball. Percentage points, tie break, not even percentage points. Tie break better than the LA Dodgers for what they were able to do tonight. They have the tie break. So there you go. Phillies best record in baseball. Feels good. When we come back, now I know our chat's going to be limited because we're not right after the game. I know we already did. I'll say it again for those that might be just joining us. Yes, we did do a show already. The internet was crap. The sound was crap. And I was just going to do the whole podcast over again. And I was like, no. If I'm going to do a whole podcast over again, I'm just doing the show over again. So I deleted the previous show on YouTube. And this will be the podcast where things are a little bit crispier. But I'll try to remember some other people's comments when we get to the comment section. Okay. Oh, there is one more thing I wanted to look up. While I have you, Phillies now 84 and 56 on the season, and it was the winning streak. Yeah, May 17th to May 23rd, the Phillies won 6 games in a row, back-to-back series sweeps against the Nationals and Texans. That's the way that went. That's the last time the Phillies won 5 in a row, so it would have been May 18th through the 23rd. Are the Phillies back? Let's see if the Phillies are back. I wonder if are the Phillies back? I think they're back. Anyway, this is Locked On Sports Philadelphia on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Back in a second here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Hey now, are you guys using Ibotta? You should be using Ibotta. Ibotta is fantastic. Tell you what Ibotta is if you don't already know. Oh, you're missing out. Ibotta is a free app that lets you earn cash back every time you shop. Earn on hundreds of items from groceries to beauty supplies, even toys. So you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. That's how great Ibotta is. The average Ibotta user earns $256 per year. That could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, that flight you've been eyeing up, or a fancy dinner that you have been craving. Take advantage of it all with Ibotta. Other apps give you points. That's what I say to points. Points. Hey, you get points. Points. How's that for analysis? Those points don't amount to much, and we know that. With Ibotta, you're in cash back that you can withdraw to your bank account, to PayPal, to gift cards. Simply add offers in the app, upload your receipt, and voila, the money is yours. You could save on over 2,400 brands and shop at over 1,000 retailers, including your favorite grocery stores, Lowe's, that helps me, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and more. It's time you joined over 50 million users who use Ibotta to earn cash back every time they shop. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 just for trying Ibotta by using code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download free Ibotta app to start earning cash back and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Ibotta, IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store, and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Taking a look ahead what the Phillies got going on. This is a 4-game series, remember, with the Miami Marlins. Tomorrow night's game is a 5:10 start time. Zach Wheeler gets the ball against Edward Cabrera. Cabrera coming off a pretty solid start against San Francisco Giants, going 5 1/3, allowing 1 run on 6 hits. It was not a solo home run, as he did not give up a home run. He has, though, walked 7 in his last 3 games. Home run's a bit of an issue for him, but not in his last start. And he is coming off another start. Actually, 3 of his last starts, at least 5 innings, no more than 3 earned runs in those starts. So that's how that's gone for Edward Cabrera. He did face the Phillies. If you remember, back on the 14th of August, that was in a losing effort. The Phillies took it to him in that game, getting 6 runs in just 4 innings of work. And that was the Kyle Schwarber Grand Slam game, where the Phillies were able to take 1 of 2 games against the Marlins in that meet-up. That Grand Slam by Schwarber came in the 4th inning. I do believe that was off of Cabrera. I think they went to the bullpen after that, if I'm not mistaken. If not, the runs were at least charged to him. But then maybe that. Is that the last time we talked about something saving the season? Was that the last time? Kyle Schwarber's Grand Slam saved the season? I'm trying to remember. No, it's not, because after that was the infield lip of the grass at Kauffman Stadium that saved the season. Yeah, that's the way that one went. Yeah, Cabrera. He hit it off Cabrera. Gave the Phillies a 6-5 lead. Bang, bang, boom. Good to see you again, Edward Cabrera. Eddie, good to see you. As for the Phillies, Zach Wheeler will get the start. These are the ones that shouldn't scare me, but scare me a little bit. Zach Wheeler, 13-6 on the season with a 2.63 ERA. Excuse me. Every once in a while, I feel like the Nationals and the Marlins get to our boy Zach Wheeler. Yeah. The start he had that he got blown up against the Marlins earlier in the season. Remember, that was the start that Garrett Stubbs caught him. After that, he faced the Marlins on June 27th. He went 6 2/3, 2 runs on 7 hits, 105 pitches. That was a loss, a 7-4 loss. And other than that, he's been pretty damn good. So how about that? Let's get to the chat check and see how you guys are doing on this fine evening. I do appreciate you guys. No, Fuzzy was the infield lip of the grass. Yes, that was the last saving of the season. You're right. Thank you, KGB officer. I say sit Harper for 5 days and see where we're at. Well, after this, so they got the three more games against the Marlins. Win these games. Please, let's get greedy. You want to get greedy? Let's get greedy. Sweep the Marlins. And then after this, the Phillies will return home after this 6-game road trip. They got 3 against Tampa, then 3 against the New York Metropolitans. The Tampa Bay Rays are not a very good baseball team. They're 69, nice, and 71, hovering right around that 500 mark. And then they got the Mets for 3, and then they got another series going up there, and then they got the Mets for 4 not too long after that. So 3 more winnable games there against Miami. Yeah, 3 more games against Miami, 3 against Tampa, 3 against New York, then 3 against Milwaukee at Milwaukee, 4 against the Mets at Citi Field. And then the season's almost over. 6 more games after that. Chicago Cubs, they host the Cubs, and then they visit the Washington Nationals. So make it happen, baby. Should he sit out 2 weeks? No. Day to day. KGB officer. Farzy, am I tweaking, or did you already do a podcast or postcast? No, I already did one. Yes, you got me. Ross Dog's Broken Spirit. Hello. First off, Tommy Wingy. I see your avatar here. Wow, Marlins usually give us a hard time. Well, not tonight, Jack. Guess not. Anyone else bricked up? Huh? Lisa Wicks. Let's go, Farzy. Hey, baby. Hey, Farzy. Hey, Lisa. Yeah, how are you? Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful. Make sure you like and subscribe right here to Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Now, tomorrow night, there will not be a Phillies postcast. Philadelphia Eagles are playing. I got some responsibilities I got to take care of. You guys will be in good hands tomorrow night. I promise you that much. That's all I can say. But yeah, there will be a Locked On Eagles postcast following the game right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. So don't miss that one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are fantastic as per usual. I'll be back with you guys on Saturday after the Phillies take care of business, hopefully in Game 3 of this series against the Marlins. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for making Locked On Sports Philadelphia your first listen every day. Make sure you guys go check out Locked On MLB podcast. Prepare for the Fall Classic with Sully, who has it all covered every single day. You can find it in the link. You can find the link on Locked On MLB in the description, so you don't have to search. It's just that easy for you. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Make sure you like and subscribe. Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Be back with you guys on Saturday. Don't miss Locked On Sports Philadelphia's Eagles postcast tomorrow night as well. I'm sure you guys will love your hosts on that. See you guys on Saturday.